So if I call you and your ringtone, I don't know, you call it skiza tune or whatever you call it. Yes, your skiza tune is my jaber una beta. Already it says something about you.
Character development imewachapa right, left and center. The skin degenerates and you don't have to exfoliate. You don't have to clean it. Just a mahali tu itatoka. Ngozi ni kama nyoka. That is what they say.
Good evening and thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Grace Ndunge, sitting in for June Mwende on Scarlet Launch, the platform where we talk about matters that are very close to you, but also trending issues. Look at how are people behaving and how does our behavior affect our lives, especially as women. And in addition to that, we look at ways to make your life even much easier. We know you're a very busy woman, you are a professional woman, and you need some help. So when you stay with us here, we'll be able to help you learn how to make life much easier. You will be able to know how to, to use tools to make your life more interesting and more. Today's show, we have an exciting topic set for you. And of course, an equally exciting guest who's going to be giving us insights on the big question. Are people now using marriage, especially when it's on the rocks, to chase clout online? We'll be discussing that and of course giving you tips on how you can make your life more interesting and how, helping you get tools and tell you where to also find them, that they will make your life more interesting and more exciting. To help me, talk about this is Dr. Beatrice Nzou, joining us live from Machakos County. Dr. Beatrice, good evening. Pleasure to have you here.
Me on the show today. I just want to appreciate the opportunity that we can be able to go through this and be able to understand what is happening with us now. My name is Dr. Beatrice Nzou. I'm a psychological counselor. I'm based in Machakos. I work counseling and mediation center. I am the vice chair of Counselors and Psychologists Society of Kenya, an organization that is represented in the whole Kenya in every county of our country.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Beatrice. Very elaborate introduction there. And we don't usually get experts like that all the time. So we're very grateful that you could make time to be here with us this evening to talk about, are people using marriage, especially when it's on the rocks, to chase clout? And as we have this discussion, viewers, I just want to remind you that we are going to be on Twitter. The Twitter handle to follow this evening is KE_Scarlet KE. That's on Twitter, KE_Scarlet Scarlett KE. We will also be live. We're live on Facebook. The Facebook page to follow is Scarlett Women Kenya, same to TikTok and same on Instagram. So go there, give us your comments, and of course your participation, and ask questions about this matter. And Dr. Beatrice, I want to dive straight into today's conversation and ask the question, what is this business of clout? And especially when we talk about it in social media.
One time to another. But currently, as we look at it in our current situation, is cloud has got to do with the power, fame, influence, weight, authority, whatever word you want to use to mean gaining fame to one's status.
Because of late, we have been served with huge stories, very exciting ones, almost soap operas for people, you know, when their marriages are on the rocks, especially, you know, the famous politicians and the socialites. I mean, case in point is your governor in Machakos, who's been going through a roller coaster, and we've been witnessing it ourselves. And we're asking ourselves the question, is it that people are using a marriage on clout to gain clout, or a marriage on the rocks to get clout on social media? Is that the case, or is this just the usual marriage problems?
Who is using cloud to gain fame, and for that, I will just say that in general terms, what is happening now, people have been going through these problems time immemorial, but the only difference right now is that people have got opened up, technology is in use, and people are using technology to express their feelings, to tell people what's happening and what they are going through. It's only that technology has come to bring out some of these issues that used to happen behind the scenes and nobody used to talk about it.
Marriages have been on the rocks for a very long time. So what causes marriages, especially the ones that look very rosy and they look very ideal? What causes these marriages to get onto the rocks?
Grace, I want to remember there is a time we did another show with the issue of marriages. And some of the issues that we saw bringing problems into marriages, that we look at them from the outside and we think they are very rosy. There are things to do with the finances. This is one big issue. And couples or spouses, how much do you earn? How do you spend the money? These are some of the issues that can bring problems in marriage. There is also the issue of in-laws, the people from both sides. When you allow your in-laws come to direct people in your marriage, you might realize that you are to come, because their values might not is even the friends that you think they are marriage is for two. We are the friends, but decision matters in a marriage should be for of you, so that you can be able to sort out issues when they come. But the moment you realize you are sorting out your problems through other people, is possible, and actually it is true, you will end up having problems. And another thing that would also bring problems in a marriage that we think it is rosy is lack of communication. When couples or spouses don't communicate, these days people are very busy, everybody is out looking for money, and they have no time for each other. So the moment any of the two feels ignored, you are more, again, as at now, many people have lost their jobs. COVID has put people in the house with no food and with nothing to do. This can cause a lot of conflict in the marriage.
Insightful. Dr. Beatrice is saying that sometimes the reason that a rosy marriage, becomes rocky is because, of course, financial issues, lack of communication, involving your relatives in your marriage, involving friends where they are not supposed to be. Those are some of the reasons why your marriage is likely to go on the rocks, even when it is very rosy, even if you have been doing a lot of good things and everything, it's likely to go on the rocks. So, tips there on what to do. Now, Dr. Beatrice, one of the other things that we ask ourselves, since, of course, a marriage goes on the rocks, should you tell everyone, especially if you're a celebrity couple, should you tell people, we are no longer together? Is that the right way to do it? Or should you just go and break up quietly?
I would rather the two of you, the way you have been handling your issues, the way you decided to come together without telling us you are coming together, you should be able to part in a manner that keeps dignity to each other. And actually, marriage issues should be handled and kept within the marriage. Setting your issues, washing your dirty linen in public will not make anybody, any of you, to gain in any way. If anything, you just undress yourself in the public. And the people who used to give you respect, people who used to look upon you, will now just wonder, what is it that I trusted in this person?
Right. Can be very confusing. For both, it can be very confusing for both, the audience that is watching you and also the couple from what you're saying. But really, Dr. Beatrice, when you're a celebrity couple, you're a public figure, don't you have a responsibility of telling us when your marriage is on the rocks? Isn't that just the fair thing to do for us, your followers, the people who look up upon you?
Mistake that. Whatever you are, a musician, whatever you are, the best thing you can do if you want to maintain your marriage is to keep your marriage, separate your marriage from the job, from the occupation that you are handling, so that you also give privacy to your significant others, your children, and so that they can be respected out there. Otherwise, any minute you are quarreling, any minute you are climbing the mountain, everybody is aware. I don't think this is the way to live a marriage.
Right. So you're saying that as a celebrity couple or as a public figure, where you find yourself, you're in a situation where you should learn to separate your life. But how about those people whose business is equal to their life, like influencers, for example? How do they avoid this kind of clout and drama of their marriages?
It is possible we've had there before who have lived their lives, their personal lives separately from their employment, from their duties and whatever they do. It all depends on what you want. And the moment you make yourself famous by flashing what car you are driving, flashing what car you are just opening a critical box for your life that people have got now to be following you. Sometimes they are the ones who are suggesting what you should do. They should suggest which area of the town you should live. This is not fair for your family. You need to make your family live a normal life so that they have their private life. Everybody wants sometimes to shut themselves up and just close their eyes and they feel they are themselves.
They'll come for you, but you're also opening your life to the rest of the world. And we are going to give you opinions, we'll give you suggestions. And of course, it may not be very exciting when things are not rosy. And, Dr. Beatrice, we've seen other celebrity couples. For example, Bill Clinton, for example. When things went wrong with his marriage, we saw Bill Clinton coming out and saying publicly that I have messed up, and Hillary, of course, being very nice and saying, I forgive you after a while. Was that the right move? Is that a move that, more couples maybe could adopt?
For that case, it was important for him to apologize publicly because the issue had gone out in the public. And you do realize, as much as the wife said, I forgive you, whatever exchange they had between themselves were never aired, were never made in public. There must have been a lot of discussions between the two of them. And all what we got in public was, I am sorry, and the other person says, I forgive you. And it was the end of the story. But there are times where somebody would want to exchange and talk and repeat in public with each other. That does not help any family.
Are going to go wrong, marriages will break. And when that happens, then it's very important for you to remember that you need, you have a life. And Dr. Beatrice, one other concern that comes up here is, what about parents and children? What or how are they affected when a marriage is on the rocks and it's, all on social media? Dr. Beatrice?
That people need to be wise in whatever they are doing and ensure that what needs to go to public can go to public, but what needs to be within the marriage, within the relationship is maintained so that the family maintains the family dignity. But you don't need to call each other out names in public.
Thank you, Dr. Beatrice.
Yes.
One other question, of course, that I have right there is about the children, of course, and the parents. How do you manage that situation? Because when word goes out, think about, Bill Clinton, think about Bill Gates. Word went out that they were breaking up, they were getting a divorce, especially Bill Gates and of course, the wife. how should a celebrity couple manage that situation for the family, especially, let's start with the children and then the parents?
I think the best way to go, first of all, is to have a meeting with your children. Be sincere with them. Tell them what you are going through. And also listen to them and get to know what are their fears, what are their feelings, and you need to address their fears. If they tell you we don't want to live without mom and dad together, then the couple needs to think about the children and see how they can be able to sort out whatever they have. But if the children say it's okay, pack your bags and pack your way, but when we want to come to you, we expect you to be there for us, what happens? It's okay.
Children's, how exactly do you help children manage a divorce, especially when you're a celebrity? How do you do it?
As a person, you might not manage them well, and that is why you need to seek psychological services for them. You need to engage a therapist who can be able to identify their fears, be able to walk through with them on what issues, and be able to address their fears comfortably, so that at the end of the day, they can say, it's okay, it is their life, not mine, and I have my own life to live.
Of course, going on YouTube, and I just want to look through some of these questions. Remember, you can participate in this conversation by sending a question or a comment on Twitter or even on YouTube or Facebook. On Twitter, we are, our handle is KE_Scarlett KE. On YouTube, it's Scarlett Kenya. On Facebook, we are live on Scarlett Kenya, and on Instagram, Scarlett Kenya, and also on TikTok. We're also there. Go there and give your comment and participate in this conversation. And Dr. Beatrice, we have some questions coming through. Mikali Luguli is asking, is it possible to avoid expressing ourselves on social media like celebrities? Let me just rephrase that question. He's asking, is it possible to avoid expressing ourselves on social media just like celebrities? Dr. Beatrice.
Want to express themselves in social media, it is a personal choice. So as an individual, you can choose not to express your feelings, your conflicts with your spouse on social media. It's very possible. It's just a personal decision.
That we actually, when you have, fights on social media, it helps you to get more followers. And more followers is equal to monetization of channels and making money. And we all need money. I mean, in this terrible economy, why should we not do this, honestly?
Grace, it is important to understand that money is not what everybody, is not all that one needs in life. There is something known as your integrity. And your integrity cannot be bought, cannot be purchased, but you can destroy it. And so you choose. It's okay. You will be followed. You will earn money. You will be whatever you want. But at the end of the day, you will close the door behind you in your house alone. So it is important to close the door behind you alone, being able to say, I am I have done this decision and I am very comfortable with it. If you want the followers, they will follow you. They will be there talking, but at a certain time, either of the day or of your life, you will all be left alone. And then now you will be the example of how people, when they fight on social media, the consequences that will happen. I wonder whether there is anybody who would want to be used as an example in a negative way of a relationship or of a family.
Dr. Beatrice, it's interesting you said that, because one of the most interesting things I like saying is that there is nobody in the world who is completely useless. Even bad people can be used as bad examples. Maybe you're finalizing school, or you just got your first baby. You're a busy person, and a lot of things are going on in your life. And so at Scarlet, what we try to do is help your life become better. We make your life much easier. And we do that by helping you appreciate and find tools that make work much easier. Tools for your kitchen, tools for your bathroom, even things that, bug you, those small things that bug you, like how do you arrange all your spoons in the kitchen so that they fit properly on the cabinet. And, small details like, because, there's a lot of pressure right now to be perfect. And sometimes for you to do things perfectly, you need the right tools. So on Scarlet Kenya, if you go to our website, scarlet.co.ke, you will find products there that help you to make your life easier. There are products that are meant to, to make your life more enjoyable. Kitchen items, household items, and, lotions. You will also find there perfumes, all things that...
Don't let pipes or garbage disposal keep you from being organized. Our expandable undersink organizer adjusts to fit. Expand it. Adjust it. Even remove a shelf or two for a perfect fit. Includes 6 shelves and 2 pull-out bins to organize everything. Our expandable undersink organizer always fits.
We are back. Thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Grace Ndunge. And of course, this is the Scarlet Lounge. We are live on Facebook, on Scarlet Kenya. We're also live on YouTube, on Scarlet Kenya. And we're also, of course, tweeting and conversing on Twitter. The Twitter handle to use is KE_ScarletKE. We're also available on Instagram and on TikTok on Scarlet Women Kenya. Go there and click. And even just in addition to that, the other thing that she has said is, it doesn't matter whether you're a celebrity or not. You should learn to keep everything under wraps, because it's just unfortunate when you don't keep your matters under wraps, because you affect people that are in your life and also people that look up to you. It's very, very confusing for everybody around you. So it's very important to make sure that, you keep all your matters together, keep them under wraps, and handle them. And where you find yourself, you're a celebrity, for example, a social figure, a public figure, then it's very important for you to just inform us, because there is an impact to your actions, especially not just to you, but to the children, to your family at large. Protect them. You love them. You exist because of them. And that's why you should be able to keep everything under wraps. Dr. Beatrice, are there any marriages that have managed to survive despite scrutiny from the public? And how have they done that?
I want to say that every marriage has been scrutinized in public. It might not be on Facebook. It might not be two of you. So you need a third non-partisan person. At this time, you need a marriage counselor, a marriage therapist. And this therapist will be able to help you manage and come out of the issues that you are going through and realize that, one, you are not alone. Others have gone through that, and you can also be able to do it. Yes, it's true, Grace. Marriages have survived.
Survive, because of late, marriages last just about a few months. A few are lucky to last a few years. And what's the secret, Dr. Beatrice? What's the secret to a lasting marriage?
The first thing is that you need to know who you are as a person in relation to yourself, to God, and even to your spouse and the environment that you live on. You need to be decided to stay in the marriage. Remember, when you get married to whoever you get married to, you talk about the hobbies, you also talk about the friends, you also talk about the work and everything, including nothing.
Including nothing. That's a very good one. But I guess when people have lived together for a very long time, sometimes silence becomes golden, quite literally. Mostly because it helps you not to run into trouble. All right. Dr. Beatrice, I want to look at what our viewers are saying. And we have an observation here, and I'd like to get your feedback on it. So Ronaldo Mosh is asking, should celebrities be barred from airing their marriage life? He feels it's the right move. What do you think, Dr. Beatrice?
They need to decide not to. You know, it's two different things. Being bad, being denied the opportunity to do.
Another question here from Mikali. He's asking, what about families that are not celebrities? How do they manage celebrities? How do they manage issues that are bound to be broadcast? You know, like there are some families that have real drama. Forget about, some of the small things we are seeing. There are some families that have real drama. How should you manage those issues? That ideally, if you are a celebrity, you would probably broadcast.
You might not go online, but you might you might wash your dirty linen in public by talking to your neighbors, by sharing your issues with your friends, by sharing your issues with your in-laws, and by sharing your issues with every team, Tom and Mary. Other people will go to church and they are having their prayer meetings and they decide to tell the story of how things are bad at home. That is not the right way to go. As I said, it is important when a couple is experiencing some difficulties, particularly in communication, because if you cannot communicate, you cannot move. The best way to do is to look for a therapist. One would be their faith. What do they believe in? Because if you are a Muslim, there is what the Quran talks about being a husband and wife. If you are a Christian, there is what the Bible talks about being a man and a wife. So your faith also matters on how you come to conclusion of the issues that you are going through.
Thank you, Dr. Beatrice, for that observation. 4 things, when they miss out, you're going to have trouble, regardless of the, of your marriage, whether you're a celebrity or not. Trust, your faith, lack of proper faith, you don't have proper grounding. So, of course, anything goes. Involving people in your marriage. And, of course, you yourself, broadcasting and everything going on. I hear that, Dr. Beatrice, I don't know that this is true, but I hear that some Christians are the best gossipers in the name of prayers, because during prayer meetings, they ask for prayer needs. And that is where the gossip comes in. When someone says, I need you to pray for me, because my own other women, they can stay away from those very ugly situations and bad men.
Important that you can do. Remember, if you are married, there must have been a place, a time that you sat down with a third party and you accepted that person, third party person, who is non-partisan, will be able to work with you in the case of a problem. So you can share with a friend who is a real friend, a friend who will help you to understand. But you don't need to go and broadcast it out there. I was beaten. When you raise that kind of an alarm, the people you are telling what happens, when they go home or when they meet their friends, they will be able to share their story the way you have done it. And remember, what goes out comes back. The information you have given will be shared in other families, and maybe your children will be told their mother is being beaten. This affects the children. So it is important that you sort your...
Very much for that response. I mean, you're right. It's good to find the right people to speak to. Don't just go to anybody, because anybody will not sort you out. You need to talk to people in confidence, preferably a marriage counselor like Dr. Beatrice, who is in Machakos. And I know that she also does her counseling virtually, so you can get in touch with her. We'll give you her contact as at the tail end of this particular show. Dr. Beatrice, one other question around children, and this is important. What happens when children to celebrities are being bullied in school, for example, or within the community? How do we help these children?
Where parents or celebrities, whoever they call themselves, are, is important to know that whatever you do has got consequences. So if you are a celebrity and you are exposing yourself, the negatives in public, this information will go around, and most likely it will come to the knowledge of your children. And most of the times it will not come in a positive way.
But should it happen? Because bad things happen to good people like you and me. Make sure that you take your child to a counselor, find somebody to work with them, get a therapist to help them go through this process. Again, as many people probably know or they don't know, whatever happens in your marriage, if, for example, you separate or you divorce or you're fighting with your spouse, even your children also go through the same. When you divorce your husband, your children divorce him also, in one way or the other. So you must manage that particular situation. And to read just one other comment from one of our viewers, and he says, celebrities are setting a bad example. This is the reason why the youth want to be wealthy very fast, and we still have cases of single mothers. They need to stop all this. Okay, first of all, I don't think there's anything wrong with being a single mother, because there are many circumstances that can land you there. But, whatever happens, you need to manage your relationships. There are many, many things that can be managed. And of course, we should not be following our celebrities. Just because, they are living a flashy life and then things happen in whichever way, that is their life, it's their experience. Find your own path. And that is what Dr. Beatrice is telling us today. Find your own path and stay with it. Find things to ground you so that you
are in Kenya, even in East Africa. If you need help, if you need the services of a counselor, you can get a counselor in every count, in every part of our country. There is a counselor who is a member of Counseling and Psychologist Society of Kenya. Get in touch with me wherever you are. I will be able to refer you to a counselor who is near you. Don't suffer alone. Seek for help. And lastly, as I close, I want to say, for you to manage your marriage in peace, please communicate with each other. Number 2, involve God. Number 3, ensure that you don't bring in other people who will take sides. And lastly, please look for help, specialized help, professional help from a family marriage counselor. God bless you. Meet you next time.
All right, Dr. Beatrice, before you go, please give us your contact information. How can our viewers get in touch with you?
My phone number is 0724 17 92 88. And
have a partner, you're living with somebody, either you're married or come we stay or whatever. You need to manage your things, your matters, keep them under wraps. That's what you're saying, because your behavior affects everybody around you. It affects your children if you have any. It affects your parents. It affects your brothers, your sisters. Everybody that is connected to you is affected by your behavior. So whatever you do, be careful. Think about it. Give a thought and save a thought for people that may be impacted negatively by your own whims, if I can say that. It's been a pleasure hosting you this evening. We are so glad you were able to participate. Once again, our social media platforms are open. Go to Scarlet Kenya on Facebook and of course follow us so that you do not miss next shows that are going to be very exciting. Go to Scarlet Women Kenya on Instagram and on TikTok and follow us right there. You'll be able to see some of the great things that we talk about here. And also, you'll be able to find tools to make your work and your life more exciting. And especially so if you go to scarlet.co.ke, that's our social e-commerce site. You'll be able to find affordable products, quality, delivered at your doorstep at very competitive prices, and they will make, yes, your skiza tune is my Jabel una beta. Already it says something about you.
Character development imewachapa right, left and center. The skin regenerates, and you don't have to exfoliate, you don't have to clean it. Tafuta mahali kitatoka. Ngozi ni kama nyoka. That is what they say.
So if I call you and your ringtone, I don't know, you call it skiza tune or whatever you call it. Yes, your skiza tune is my Jabel una beta. Already it says something about you.
Character development imewachapa right, left and center.